Connor Bedard has spoken. The playoffs are the goal, and he wants to make them with Patrick Kane. A whole lot more coming up next on CHGO Blackhawks. Happy Monday. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. Hope you're having a great day. I'm Jay Zawaski. That's Mario Tirabassi. Chloe Thiel is here running the show today. Connor Bedard spoke a couple hours ago, too, and has had a lot to say. We're going to bring you highlights from his press conference today. We also have Mailbag Monday, but a ton to get to with Connor Bedard. Before we do that, you have to do your part and hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page. And by the way, you mentioned before the show, how many followers away are we from 20,000 on Twitter? Like
50.
50.
50.
Yeah.
50.
Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, if you're not following us on Twitter at CHGO_Blackhawks and you're here, go do it.
Go do it.
That'd be nice.
Absolutely.
It means the world
it
to
really
us
does matters
to reach 20,000. Such a good round number.
Nice round number,
yeah,
exactly.
It'd be great.
Exactly. All right. Thank you for hitting the like button. 29 of you have done that. We need more than that. But subscribe to all that great stuff. But let's get right to it because there was a lot with Connor. And I know everyone who is watching this show has already seen him talk about Patrick Kane. We're going to do that last because it warrants the most conversation afterwards. So we're going to start with the contract and the process of the contract. So he was asked by Mark Lazarus, like, what was kind of his mindset going into signing this deal with the Blackhawks?
You know, of course, you want both sides to be happy with the term, like you said, and you know, I think, you know, it came to that pretty quick, and you know, I think both of us feel pretty good about the length of it, and you know, I think you've kind of seen that more with, you know, maybe the 5-year deal coming out of the first one. So I think we were both comfortable with it, and you know, I'm happy where it ended up, of course.
So 5-year deal, I think, like he says, both sides are happy. They probably would both be happier with Bedard, maybe a couple fewer years, the Hawks with a couple more, but you meet in the middle, everybody's happy. But I do think bigger picture wise, he's kind of right. Like, I think this is where these guys, these star players coming out of their first deals, it's what they're going to do. With the cap going up, it's wise to get yourself to free agency more quickly. We're seeing it with Carlsson. We're seeing it with Bedard. I'd be shocked if we don't see it with Fantilli. I think this is going to be the new trend here.
Yeah, I think with the cap going up, it's a new reality that both teams, front offices, and players are realizing. Because think about the last 10 years, we've gone through, you know, salary cap is going up $1.5 million, or it was flat for a few years.
Right.
So players would say, without having certainty for their contracts, it could really fluctuate. And so that's why I think we saw a lot of 7 or 8 year deals, or you know, if you were in-house 8 years. Yeah. But you would see those max term deals because you could spread out that money. Okay, maybe I'm only making 7, but at the end of the day, I still get 56 million rather than, you know, okay, 6 years and having to do the math that way. Players would want to extend that out, and then teams were happy with it because it means they have control for longer. But now as the cap is going up, and I think there's a different mentality with you know, the change of the generation of player. I think they're more willing to bet on themselves to maximize their earnings and look, go for it. It's not my money. Make all the millions you can, because your careers are not long. We were just talking about before the show, Cam Scatterbo, and how long his career might be. Get your money while you can, because you don't know how long it's gonna be, given the player you are, or the style of the player, and the decisions you make. Yeah. So I feel like, with these young guys, like especially guys like Bedard and Carlsson and Fantilli to an extent, where you jump into the league at 18 or 19 years old, you can get to free agency, unrestricted free agency, faster than a guy who plays 2 or 3 years in college and then gets to the pros. Like Bedard, should we get to the point where he gets to unrestricted free agency, July 1 of the year he hits unrestricted free agency after this contract, he will be 25, turning 26.
That's insane.
Like, players of his stature and what his prime will look like, as we all believe it will, don't hit free agency at that age. And if they do, in his situation, if it were to be like that, he could make like $25 million a year.
That's what Bowen Byram is.
Right, yeah.
Bowen Byram is the very rare 25-year-old guy that becomes available.
Guy going to free agency,
and with his prime years still ahead of him. Connor talks about him a little bit later, but we'll get to that in a second. On the topic of Leo Carlsson and the offer sheet, he was asked by, I believe it was Tab Bamford, like, did that kind of, seeing that money, did that change the way you looked at your negotiations at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with the amount of money I'm making. It's a lot, and I think just with that, obviously the offer sheet's different as well. With a team trying to take a guy, it's going to be a different value. So, but for me, I wasn't that didn't change anything I was thinking. Like I've said so much, and it's not anything fake. Chicago's kind of really, the only place I want to play, and just seeing the growth of our young guys, and just how good of a group we are, in the room, and how tight it is, how much fun we have. So, I'm very happy to get this deal signed, and just focus on the team, and excited to get back and get going.
So there it is. Chicago is the only place I want to play, and I did appreciate him chuckling. I'm making $15 million a year. Okay, I'm not like upset about the money.
Yeah, right. Yeah. At the end of the day,
it's pretty good. Yeah.
More money than he's ever seen before. Yeah, it's good. I mean, this whole process, I think, it won't, but it should silence any of the outside noise of, well, he can't wait to get out of Chicago. Stick it.
He said it over and over again. The only people that truly believe that, the only people that say that are people that
Canucks
want
fans.
him to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. By the way, there's a new account on Twitter called Jock Taxes, @JockTaxes. And what they do is pretty much weigh, like, this guy plays here, here's what he's going to get taxed. He actually did this for Bedard's contract. If he was to play in Anaheim, what the contract would be to take home the same amount of money based on taxes. So Bedard will take home after taxes in Chicago $8,760,022. To take that home in Anaheim, the AAV would have to be $17,582,808.
Interesting.
So that's basically $18 million.
Yeah.
So end of the day, Leo Carlsson is taking home a couple thousand more dollars than Connor Bedard ultimately. So I thought that was interesting. It's a cool account to follow.
That is we talk about, like, the no state income tax advantage that some teams in those states have, and those seem to be the teams that all the players want to go to. So it's interesting to see kind of like the breakdown of it. And I'm sure in Canada it's it's even more of a difference in where guys play. But I think for Bedard, like, it really does seem, because it's not just been like this past year with the contract extension looming during the season or anything. Like, it's been, since pretty much day one of him being a Blackhawk, that people have been like, oh, he's gonna hate it there and he'll never want to stay around. Like, I think this just ends that narrative, at least for 5 years.
I hope so.
I really hope we can just, as a collective society, just roll our eyes and move beyond people making those kinds of comments. Because it's just, the guy has said countless times that he's happy with, not only is he happy with being in Chicago and the organization, he's like he's gravitated to the team too. Like this idea that Kyle Davidson had of like having this group kind of like come up together, all these young players, the off ice prospect camps and all that stuff. Like, I think in different ways you're seeing it kind of like have its impact and have its advantage, because like these guys are tight knit at 21, 22 years old, so on and so forth, and like that will resonate with like them wanting to pull together for the push to the playoffs and contending and all that stuff. Like they want to do it together, and they have that kind of like camaraderie, which is good. You want to have that.
Today the Hawks dropped the latest episode of Every Shift, which is the draft, the Byram trade, and for the most part development camp, and it's showing the on ice and the off ice bonding that the prospects did. And AJ Spelliscy, I think, speaks in it the most, and he's saying like we're all in this together and we're all working to be Blackhawks and we're all tight already. Yeah. And they show them at the driving range, and like he's already calling them like Rubes, like Ryan Rubrick already has like a nickname from like the guys who've been around. Like they are tight knit, and it goes back to the 2022 class and the 2023 class, the first couple of Kyle Davidson. Like these guys have been together a while, and they want to do this together. And Connor Bedard said like, I want to win as a Blackhawk. Yeah, I want to make the playoffs as a Blackhawk. That's the mindset. And let's get into that. He's first asked about what he made of the offseason moves the Hawks made and how he's feeling about them.
No, I mean, I think we've had a great summer. Obviously getting Bo. He's someone, he's going to be one of the best D-men in the league, and he's always shown that. But you play behind Kale and Dally, and it's not easy to take their spots. So just for him to get the opportunity to be that one and prove himself in that way, and he's going to do it. He's one of the most skilled players in the league, and just his motivation to prove that is unbelievable, and his excitement to be with us is just great for the team, and then obviously getting Ian and Cole in free agency. I think we've really added a lot of pieces, like Greenway as well. We've added a lot of pieces that help our team and make us better. So it's hard not to be happy.
And with the additions that he mentioned, he kind of went on to say that playoffs are the goal for this team right now.
You think about just what the team can achieve in general, and we want to take a big step this year. We want to be a playoff team, and that's our only goal. And I think with those additions, like you said, to add that high end skill, and also the other additions, you add guys that are physical and can help on the other end of the ice, which is just as important. So I think our adds are going to be a huge difference, and we feel good about our group and what we got going in. So we're extremely confident of each and every guy in the room and the growth that we've all had this summer. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's gonna. Even if he did have anything not positive to say, I don't think he's gonna.
No, he's not gonna say it there.
He's not gonna spill the tea there. No, but I think for him, in his mind, he's not to put words in his mouth, but he's probably thinking like the guys that they added besides Byram. Yeah, that's good depth and stuff, but it's still the guys that are going to drive the team forward are the young players, and I think that's very evident. Like Ian Cole and Cole Smith and Jordan Greenway, they're good depth guys, veteran guys,
floor raisers.
Yeah, that's what they should be.
Yeah.
I think you hear Bedard talk about Bowen Byram. I think he's very excited to have him be part of the group because of not only the player he is, but having a little bit of familiarity with him, a little bit of a relationship with him, and knowing the kind of player, kind of defenseman he can be and what he can potentially inject into the team. I think Bedard is pretty excited about that.
Yeah, and it's that the better defense will help offensively too. Even if you don't add guys who, like Byram is obviously a puck mover, right? An offensive-minded defenseman.
Yeah.
Probably a two-way defenseman, you'd say, with maybe a tick towards the offensive side. But guys like Smith and Greenway's a really good penalty killer, and those sort of things, like you just have the puck more.
Yeah,
like, that's going to make a big difference. Like
that's a good way to play
simply
defense.
Possessing the puck,
be on offense.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's because I was watching. I think the Hawks published like here's a video of Connor Bedard going off.
And the 98 minutes of
it
highlights.
was not that one. It was a slightly shorter one than that. But it's like every time he scores a goal, you can see like the shot on goal differential in the game and the score bug.
Yeah.
And it's like the Hawks are getting doubled up in shots. And like, that is not a winning formula. And even like when they got off to the good start last year, a lot of like, hope was raised from that. And rightfully so. They were an exciting team. But if you really dug into the numbers, you could see it was a little bit of smoke and mirrors because of how clobbered they were getting on possession. Yeah. So if you bring in guys like this that can kind of play responsible defensively and get those skilled players the puck more, because I think, let's be real, like, yeah, Smith, Greenway, those are obvious. But Roman Kanserov is not like a cherry-picking one-way forward. Like, he's played center in the KHL. Mm-hmm. He's capable of doing that. Anton Frondell is probably a guy who at some point this year will be on the penalty kill, you would imagine. By no means is he an offense-only kind of a guy.
Yeah, his profile as a draft prospect was a guy that, was effective at both ends of the ice. So let's see I'm sure he'll be thrown into some of those situations, whether it's, defensive zone starts at 5-on-5 or maybe playing some penalty kill. We'll see. But I mean, we talk about like them losing kind of like the guys on the PK with Murphy and Dickinson and Mikheyev, but it opens up more opportunities for, Rinzel or Levshinov to play defensively on the penalty kill and see what they can do in those roles. Nazar and Moore to get more time on the PK, and they'll have defensive role responsibilities as well. So like it just kind of opens up for those guys who you project to be like the future alongside Bedard and Frondell, so on and so forth, to get the opportunity to play that style too.
Well, and it's going to be, obviously, at least to start the year and probably the whole year, you're not going to get Dickinson, Mikheyev type penalty killing from Moore and Nazar, but you hope that they can build to that point somewhere. And you would think maybe the penalty kill slips off a little bit this year. It's not elite like it was last year, but with the addition of Kanserov and Frondell and maybe Patrick Kane, your power play should be better. So hopefully that you kind of narrow that gap.
The special teams game kind of evens out.
Yeah, you would think so. All right, when we come back, Connor Bedard talks about potentially being the captain, talks about his injury rehab plan, and of course makes his pitch to Patrick Kane. That's all next on CHGO Blackhawks. What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi, and what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That is the well-named Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. You will have Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even know you have them. It's super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense, and that means you're streaming the game even when the whole family is online, all your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And the best part, there are no annual contracts, there are no hidden fees, and you'll get Xfinity's best equipment included. Take it from us, a lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi should stay reliable, and the price should stay put. So lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more about the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. This is available on select plans only, and as usual, restrictions do apply.
At Old National Bank, they believe that every play matters. From everyday checking to long-term planning and commercial banking, their team is there to help build momentum and help you move the ball forward. It all starts with a plan tailored for you by professionals that you trust. From simple tasks to bigger financial moments, you can count on Old National Bank to coordinate your needs with steady, knowledgeable guidance that brings clarity and confidence with each step. It's a partnership designed to help you feel supported, not just today, but well into the future. So, whether you're celebrating a win, rebuilding after a tough loss, or gearing up for whatever comes next, Old National Bank has your back with tools, insights, and an expert crew that's always in your corner. Old National Bank, member FDIC, where relationships and results matter. Check them out at oldnational.com.
Yes, do that. I use them. They're good. They keep your money in a nice bank vault. It's true. I've seen it. All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks. You got to get it to a minute. You just have to, and you got to be creative in doing so sometimes. All right. A lot of people have hit that like button. We appreciate that. Please do it if you've not done that already. All right. We've talked about the contract. We've talked about the season outlook. Let's talk about Bedard personally here to get as we move on through the press conference. By the way, all this footage courtesy of the Chicago Blackhawks, and we thank them for use of the video from today's Zoom call. He was asked, hey, would you like to be the captain of the Blackhawks? What would that mean to you? Here's what Connor had to say.
Yeah, it would be special for sure. I think just getting to play for the Blackhawks organization in general without any of that is, the best thing in the world. So, if I was able to, become a captain or, anyone to become a captain, if it's someone else, I'd be just as happy for them. And, but, if I was able to get that honor, it would be, so special and something that, I know I wouldn't take for granted for a second. And, but we got so many guys in the room that can lead. And, if I'm chosen for that, that would be unbelievable for sure.
I mean, who else is it going to be?
Patrick Kane.
Sure.
No, it's gonna be Bedard, and I mean, I wonder if they wait to name it, make it official until he's active. Yeah. Do they wait for the season to start and then it's mid-October, late October, and they're like, oh, he's coming back, and oh, by the way, he's his captain. I wonder if they do it that way, or maybe they just do it anytime now, leading up to what would be training camp.
Because I'm sure, it would be really easy just to do it to start training camp, but now with him out, it does add a level of complication. I don't know. I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer.
He's captain, and then you still have to wait 2 months for him to show up on the ice?
Yeah. I don't know. That is a decision I'm glad I don't have to make. Because either way, it feels a little bit unsatisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe just wait until next year. I can't imagine that though.
Why delay it any longer?
Right, we all know it's happening.
Yeah,
and
they should have done it last year after they traded Foligno. They should have just said, and now it's been
yeah. Well,
they should have just done that. But.
In hindsight, it's an easy thing to say, but it'll happen. I don't know. I got to think about that. Well, when's the right time to name him captain?
If you saw online this weekend, Scott Powers did a little digging on the CBH shop website, and I think it was because Bedard was an alternate captain this last year. You had the option, but you had the customization option of either adding an A or a C patch to his jersey, which I thought you can't do that with every jersey, but that's only if you go custom jersey, one of the 300 players you can select, and you can put whatever patch you want on there. But if you go specifically to a player specific jersey, because I was just could I just put one on Levshinov? You couldn't. There was no option for that. But for Bedard, there was. And then Scott Powers says, oh, it looks like this feature is gone.
Interesting. All right, so I'm going to go to the Levshinov premium home jersey.
The Fanatics one or whatever.
Yes. I can pick my size. Actually, it's all it's letting me do.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But now if you click on the Bedard one, does it still have it? Because it had it, I don't know what this was, yesterday maybe, or Saturday night. But then Scott Powers is looks like this feature's been taken away. Someone saw my tweet or something. Yeah, I don't know. So, but if you go to the full customizable jersey, which is $800 or whatever, you can still do it there.
All right, well, speaking of Scott Powers, he asks if there's a chance that Connor comes back from his injury earlier than expected.
We'll see. All I can do is everything in my power to get it right as quick as possible. And whether that's quicker than that, 4 months, there's obviously that timeline right now, but, I'm just going to, do everything I can day to day to try to get back as quick as possible. But end of the day, you got to be safe and got to feel, comfortable with it. So whenever that is, it is, so that, I'm going to do everything I can for sure.
Well, that is a good mindset, is to not come back before you're ready. But we talked about it the other day. I think we figured 4 months from the injury would have been 18 games missed if it's to the day. And we did an over-under. We all took the under on 18 games. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be the full 4 months.
Yeah, you hear from his agent, from both the article Ben Pope wrote and Mark Lazarus in The Athletic, he made it clear, the organization is already on alert that Connor's trying to beat the 4-month timeline in his rehab. Which, I mean, hey, if he's 100% and medically cleared and all that stuff, good. If that's the case, great. But if he needs the full 4 months to feel like he can be as fully 100% Connor Bedard as he needs to be, take it. That's fine. But if he can do it faster, more power to him. I hope he does.
That'd be great.
Without risk of any,
yes,
aggravation or whatever. But yeah, it'd be great.
And look, I think it's anyone that comes back from an injury like that, you probably won't know you're 100% until you're on the ice and until you take that first hit. And he said during the presser, I can't play scared. I gotta be ready to go. I can't really change my mindset out there, because if you're playing to not get hurt, you're going to get hurt. That's a given. So he'll know once he takes that first bump how it is. But they'll probably work him into practices, have him in a no contact jersey for a while, and then take a couple bumps. But no one's going to really lay him out. He did mention that Ian Cole has cross-checked him more than anyone in the league. So maybe they'll give Ian Cole the responsibility of checking the shoulder.
Yeah.
All right, now what you've all been waiting for. He was asked about the reports that Patrick Kane is choosing between Chicago and Buffalo. That credited to Chris Chelios, of course, who said so on 104.3 The Score. Here's what Connor had to say about possibly playing with Patrick Kane.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I don't know, what I can say to, persuade his decision. But, obviously we'd all be so excited to have a player like that, but also a guy like that. I can't imagine his first game back at the UC, the reaction he'd get, and just how much juice that would bring to not only our team, but our fans as well. And, that would just be, that would be incredible to, get to play with him and learn from him. So, hopefully he decides to come back, and, I think it would, and you talk about kind of the legacy aspect of it, but just as a team, it would make us a way better team. He's still an amazing player. So, I don't know if this probably not the best pitch, but hopefully he comes back, and we can play together for sure.
All right. Are you like me?
It's time to Pepe Silvia this.
See, okay, so
let's run the clip back.
We can run it back.
Chloe, can you play it but just no audio? Just hit it first here. And let's just see.
I see where you're going.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Look at how animated he is.
What I can say to
he's so happy to talk about Patrick Kane.
But
I don't know, man. It's
be so excited to have a player like that, but also a guy like that.
I don't know.
I can't imagine his
starting to feel like
the reaction he'd get, and
look at how much he's smiling.
Not only our team, but our fans as well. And,
he knows something.
That would just
think
be.
so?
He knows something. I think he knows
incredible
something.
To,
you don't see Connor Bedard
and learn from him.
Smile.
So, hopefully he decides
this
to come
much.
Back, and I think
for something that's such a hypothetical,
kind of the legacy
right?
aspect of it, but
like unless it's like a goofy off the cuff
team.
social media question that they send to him.
I don't know if this. Probably not the best pitch, but hopefully he comes back.
No,
and, we can.
He's
play
smiling
sure.
a lot when talking about Patrick Kane.
So
lots of smiling.
One of my favorite people, Hawks fans to follow on Twitter, is Ovi Clapbaum, who is the emotional roller coaster he kind of like is a perfect encapsulation of the roller coaster of Hawks fandom.
Definitely.
And so his response to our video on Twitter is, there's something going on here. I just can't put my finger on it. Surely after this, Kane has to come back. Has it already happened? And they're just waiting to announce it. If that's not I don't think it's that. But if you want to believe, there was zero leak that this contract was getting done. Zero. This weekend. We got a text from the Blackhawks saying basically like, sorry to interrupt your Saturdays, but it's done.
I was at the pool.
And everyone's like, what are you talking about? and the Hawks PR person said, check your email. And that was the official release that Connor Bedard had signed. There was
it wasn't Saravalli, it wasn't Friedman.
None of the insiders.
Nothing.
Nobody had it.
Wasn't Don't Be Sod.
No, we talk about this all the time too with, Don't Be Sod has stuff.
He does.
We talk about this all the time. Like the Hawks keep things tight. Things don't get out. The fact that Connor Bedard signing an extension was not broken by Elliot Friedman or Frank Saravalli tells you something. So I don't think it's out of the question. Even if it's not, though, let's say Patrick Kane is truly still deciding between Buffalo and Chicago. this impassioned for Connor Bedard response of "I hope so!" exclamation points. That puts some pressure on Kyle Davidson to get it done now.
He doesn't get that excited over hypotheticals and ifs and nuts and candies and butts.
Yeah, I think at this point, and I think there was a large portion of the fan base that would have been pissed if it didn't happen anyway. But now that you've got the face of your franchise, newly signed, newly inked, excited.
Are we bullying Kyle Davidson into making this move as a Hawks fan base?
Look, at this point, it feels like you kind of have to. And like, I don't care whatever Buffalo is offering. You have $16 million of cap space. And we talked last week.
Give him all 16.
We talked. Yeah, sure. We talked last
Just make
week
it
about
bonus
like,
structure.
Would you do a second year? Would you give him more term? I've gotten a little less like warm on the idea of giving Patrick Kane 2 years. But man, if that's the difference between having him or not, it surely feels like if he's coming here, he understands the reality where the Hawks are. He's going to have a big role to start the season, probably a big role for most of the season. And then who knows what happens next year, right? If Kancherov and Frondell blow up and maybe someone else makes the jump to the NHL or you get another lottery pick somehow, then maybe he gets pushed down a little bit and pushed down to where he would be in Buffalo right now.
Right.
So he's got a year at least on the top 6 in Chicago, power play 1, most likely, probably playing 15 to 17 minutes a game with the Hawks, or you can go to Buffalo, play 13 minutes a night. Sure, it's his hometown. He's on a better team, fine, but like, I don't know, man. He comes here also with zero pressure. Everyone's just happy to see him. Everyone's happy he's here. Buffalo fans are looking at this as like, this guy's going to come. We lost a lot this offseason. He's going to kind of revitalize the offense that we lost. They lost Alex Tuck. They lost Bowen Byram. They lost a lot this summer.
Yeah. And without looking it up, and I know we got to get to the break, but like they didn't add, right? I think they just took the money that they lost from not having Tuck and Byram. They just invested into some of the guys that they had. I don't think that they really, unless I'm forgetting somebody that they signed.
They got Owen Zellweger.
Yeah, that was in response to losing Byram.
Yes.
But like they didn't really get anybody that's like
no, they signed Zach Benson and Peyton Krebs.
Replacement for Tuck.
No, not really.
Yeah. So and their cap structure, and we talked about this before, if they're trying to get Hellebuck, like they don't have the space to really do that. And then also get Kane without also maneuvering somebody else, shuffling the deck and getting out.
Well, let's get to this on the other side of the break. We'll run the numbers and get you next on CHGO Blackhawks. Our friends at Sunnyside Dispensary are here to elevate your baseball season. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free shopping. They've got a massive selection with over 100 different strains to choose from with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. And while you're ordering online and picking up in-store, get yourself a Good News Tea Time Vape lemonade flavor, perfect for the golf course. You could join us at the Kickoff Classic at Cog Hill with your Lemonade Tea Time Vape and take advantage of their Stash Pass. It's their summer rewards program. You earn rewards just by visiting and making qualifying purchases live now through September while supplies last. So head to their website for only the best under the sun, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Use our code HICHGO at checkout. Sunnyside Dispensary, only the best under the sun. Only for 21 plus or Illinois MedCard holders. Again, use that code HICHGO.
Chicago is where sports, technology, business, and culture come together.
That's true.
Starting today, July 20th through the 23rd, join founders, athletes, investors, teams, brands, and sports industry leaders for Chicago Sports Tech Week. It is 4 days across multiple venues, but it's one citywide celebration of the future of sports. You can hear from executives and innovators shaping the industry. You can discover emerging companies at Pitch Night, go behind the scenes at some of Chicago's leading sports businesses, classes, connect with leaders during Women's Sports Day, and experience the intersection of sports and style at the Tunnel Walk Fashion Show. Whether you work in sports, or you are building the next big idea, investing in innovation, or simply want to be part of what's next, Chicago Sports Tech Week is where you need to be. Tickets and the full schedule are available now at chicagosportstechweek.com. That's chicagosportstechweek.com. Chicago Sports Tech Week, where the future of sports comes to life.
All right, we are back on CHGO Blackhawks, crunching the numbers here during the break. As it currently stands, the Sabres have 6.961 and change in cap space. If they traded Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Jack Quinn to the Jets for Connor Hellebuyck, that would give them
some sort of deal.
$6.625 million in cap space, because Quinn makes $3.375. So they would definitely have the money to bring Kane.
Then you could sign Kane, sure.
So they don't really have to wait. You're allowed to be over the cap in the summer. They've got the money right now to sign Patrick Kane. Even if they wanted to give him $5 million, they could do it now and not even be over the cap.
Right.
So I don't think they're necessarily waiting to make the Hellebuyck trade to acquire Patrick Kane, because with or without him, they've got enough to do it. They've got enough cap space to do it. So I don't know. I think Kane is just, maybe he knows what he's doing. Maybe he's coming to Chicago and the Hawks are like, hey, let's just give Connor his couple days here to bask in the glory of the contract, and we'll sign you at the end of the week. Or like you said in the break, maybe it's an August 8th situation, an 8-8 day, something like that. But
I hope it's not, because that's a Saturday.
I just feel like if he's gonna go to Buffalo, wouldn't he just done it by now?
You'd think.
Like, there's nothing for, like, you could look and say, okay, we're not going to announce the Kane signing now because Connor Bedard got hurt. All right, we just announced the Connor Bedard extension, so we're not going to announce Kane now. We're going to kind of spread these things out.
Could be doing that.
Maybe they're just waiting and letting it breathe for a while, because, like, Buffalo has nothing holding them back from saying Patrick Kane's a Sabre right now.
Yeah, I mean, unless
what's preventing it?
Yeah.
Unless he truly hasn't decided.
That's the one thing for me that I feel like could be why, like, a decision might be being held up, is he might be saying, well, I might go to Chicago, I might go to Buffalo. I'm waiting to see if the other shoe drops and Hellebuyck lands in Buffalo. Then he might be like, that's my signal to go to Buffalo and, be a part of that team, and that's going to have a better chance at competing for and into the playoffs compared to Chicago. Like that could be the deciding factor on why he might be waiting it out to see if that actually happens. But I mean, if that's the case, I don't know. It's interesting that a guy of his caliber on the free agent list is still available. I mean, it's very widely known now amongst the hockey world, because Chris Chelios said it, that Patrick Kane told him it's down to Chicago and Buffalo. So everyone knows that information now. It's not a Elliot Friedman, deep dive trying to get the scoop. Like, it's out there.
It's out there.
And now, from today, from all the publications, and NHL.com is writing about Connor Bedard would love to have Patrick Kane come back to. That's out there too now. So it's, which train is going to reach the station faster? Buffalo makes their last move before signing Patrick Kane, or the comeback to Chicago is,
I mean,
all
he
but
might be
written.
right. He might be, and let's not underestimate what that would mean to Patrick Kane to win a championship in his hometown for an organization that has been not competitive for most of their existence.
Never won a cup.
So for Patrick Kane to look at it and say, you know what, they just got Connor Hellebuyck, I feel like this is one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, and if I can go home like LeBron James did in Cleveland and bring a title to a town without titles, talk to Bills fans too. Not a lot of success there in terms of titles. So to be the guy, the hometown kid that brings a title to your hometown, that is very appealing.
It's true.
But so is
this is a Blackhawks podcast.
Well, no, but also is coming back to where it all began, to a hero's welcome, to more money, to more opportunity, to usher in the new era of Hawks hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's appealing too.
Like
so
a full circle kind of thing.
I don't know that, and you can understand now why it is a tough decision for him.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And I wonder too, if he's like another year older, another year on the hip, am I going to go to Buffalo and potentially set them back? Like, he doesn't want to be a guy who becomes a fall guy for his home team not winning.
I think that factors into something else you said about, to the hero's welcome that he would get in Chicago. I get the sense from sleuthing the internet that Sabres fans are indifferent about adding Patrick Kane, and Chicago, I think, is
oh my god, or over his skis,
is vast majority very happy to have him come back. And I think the fact that you have that kind of interest in the fan base, he can always show up in Chicago and be loved. And like you just said, like, the role he would play here would be viewed in a much different way than it would in Buffalo. If he's going to Buffalo with a team with higher expectations and higher realistic expectations than the Blackhawks have, and he puts up 50 points and is not, a big difference maker, I think Sabres fans might look at that and be like, we could have had, if they make a trade that involves Jack Quinn or something, it's like, we got rid of Jack Quinn so we could sign Patrick Kane, and, Quinn could have done the exact same thing and blah, 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 like, all this stuff. Like,
they're not wrong either.
That could be a reaction. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But if he comes here and puts up 50 points,
that's great. It's a huge
sign
win.
me up.
Yeah,
you might be second on the team in scoring for all we know. Like, I think the expectation of him to be the big difference maker would be great, but I don't think that's the expectation. I think it's, yes, we're saying like play in the top 6, be on power play 1, but we're saying that also with the caveat of everyone else besides basically Tyler Bertuzzi is 22 years old in your top 6 and on your power play. So you need somebody who's done it before, who can still do it to a degree and has that veteran presence, and obviously the Chicago legacy is unquestionable. So it's just like, it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot different of a expectation from a fan perspective, and maybe even an organizational perspective too, in the way that maybe some of those conversations have gone between, Buffalo and Chicago and what they would want from him if he were to come to their team.
Yeah, I don't think there's any Hawks fan that is more than like a casual that would expect Patrick Kane to come in and be the Patrick Kane he was before he left. He is coming here to
he's
strengthen the top 6, to help them stay afloat in Connor Bedard's absence. And like you said, 50 points in Chicago versus 50 points in Buffalo have a very different feel. But to your point though, like, Patrick Kane has never lacked for confidence. He's not the kind of guy who's going to be like, oh, I don't know if I can do it in Buffalo. Patrick Kane believes very well that he can go to Buffalo and be exactly what he thinks he can be and take them over the hump and all those sort of things. So it is a very tough decision. I am not, I don't envy it for Patrick Kane. We're all rooting for it to be here. I also now wonder too, if he does choose Buffalo, does that impact his legacy here?
See, that's the other part of it too.
Like, the people are like, you chose to not come back.
So much has been built up.
Yeah.
And now, cat's out of the bag, knowing that, okay, it's return to Chicago or go to Buffalo. That's what I was saying last week, where I was just like, if he goes to Buffalo after all this and the buildup of the Blackhawks fan base, which, look, we're a conduit of the fan base as well, and we're talking about this, so maybe we're building it up too. Sorry, this is what we do for a living, is talk about hockey and the Blackhawks. But for this all to kind of like build up to have it not happen, like, that's a much bigger drop off in hope and good feelings and all that. That
you're gonna have
you would want, like, would you want that tied to you to be like, I kind of kind of led them on, and then
No.
and then ditched them, kind of thing.
So, well, that, and I think from Kyle Davidson's perspective too, of like, he's probably feeling right now like, oh my God, like this has to happen now. Like if it doesn't happen now, as if people aren't unhappy with him enough. If Patrick Kane gets away for seemingly money, which probably won't be, I don't think money will be the thing. It'll be opportunity, chance to win, all those sort of things.
Right.
But your angry, heartbroken Blackhawks fan isn't going to look at it that way. They're going to see it as, we did not do enough to get Patrick Kane back. And Mark says in the chat, like, Chelios kind of put him in a spot if he chooses Buffalo. That's true. Like, now Patrick Kane's been kind of put in like, oh, wait a minute. Like, when Toronto and some other teams were like in the rumor mill, it felt like more of a long shot. But Chelios dropping that bomb does put a lot of pressure on Kane, a lot of pressure on Davidson to get this thing done, and for Kane to choose Chicago again. Because I do think ultimately 10 years from now, 15 years from now, it probably won't impact his legacy. But I think when Buffalo comes back to Chicago, it's not going to be like when Detroit came to Chicago with Patrick Kane. It's not going to feel the same.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some.
If that were the case,
Yeah.
I think it might not be as raucous of a welcome.
No, I don't think so.
Who knows?
All right, we're going to hit the break zone. We got your mailbag questions. We're going to get through as many of those as we can. We'll get to some more tomorrow, obviously. But stick around. Hit that like button if you've not done it yet. We have 465 people watching. Not even 200 likes. We got to get those likes up. So if you're new here, checking us out for the first time, welcome. We do shows 5 days a week at 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday, and emergency pods as news warrants like we did on Saturday. So subscribe and hit that like button. It helps us out big time. Talk to you in 2 on CHGO Blackhawks. You know the moment, the one where you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the roof of your car or at a gas station 3 states away, or like me this weekend, no clue where you left them.
Oh, no.
Yes, we've all been there. Thank God we found Shady Rays. It has changed the game. Their sunglasses are made for real life. They look great. They're polarized, they're durable, and not crazy expensive. And the best part, if you lose them or break them, even on day one, they're going to send you a brand new pair. That's what Shady Rays does. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now you can actually wear your shades without fear on hikes, at concerts, on the boat, wherever you might be. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. So head over to their website, shadyrays.com. Use our exclusive code CHGOSR for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Again, that's shadyrays.com, code CHGOSR for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses.
It's already July 20th, which according to Frank Saravalli's calendar means it's almost September. And that means you might miss out on seeing your favorite baseball team here in Chicago, whether it's the Cubs or the White Sox. Getting to a game is important to be part of a well-balanced Chicago summer.
Yes,
So check out our friends at Game Time. Game Time is the app that gives fans the advantage with consistent innovation, and it's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's super easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets on time at the best price, and no surprises because fees are included in the price you see, so you know exactly what you pay for up front. That's a great feature of Game Time. Also, if you've never been to one of those ballparks or any ballpark you want to go see a team in, they have the view from your seat function, so you'll be able to see what it looks like before you put your butt in the seat. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use the code CHGO, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today.
Hi, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks. We got some super chats we want to get to here, but before we move on to the mailbag, we've got one from Joker's Performance, $5. Says captains like Foligno contacted newcomers to the team. Connor has been doing that already, as if he already took that role. Just some insight. He was actually asked about that by you.
That's what I said.
And he was like, nah, everybody does that. He poo-pooed it.
Another, put it on the board. Mario's dumb questions.
It was not a dumb question.
Another one. Boom.
He just poo-pooed it. Yeah, see, Alan K liked your question.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
I can always count on you to
It was a fine question.
brighten my spirits.
He just didn't give you the answer we wanted.
Yeah, he never does.
He's like, oh, no, everyone texts everybody. Sorry. Go F yourself. Boxing Works Hermosa Beach, $5, says this is for a CHGO Blackhawks California Takeover Fund As per the mini pod,
Nice.
here's to seeing you all out here in February. Interesting.
Nice. Nice. You know, I've always wanted to take a boxing class out there in Hermosa Beach, so it'd be fun.
That's good
Be
reason.
fun to get out there in February.
We'd be lying to you if we said that those conversations have not. They have begun already.
We're
it's
choosing
under
between
consideration.
Buffalo and
Let's see, California
go
in
to
February
California.
or Buffalo.
Buffalo.
It's not a 0% chance.
Yeah.
So
I'd say it's a higher % chance we get out to California in February than we do Germany in December.
I definitely think there's a higher chance of that because I think the Germany chance is 0.
0.1%.
I don't know. Who's paying for that? I need more super chats, and I got to get my passport ready.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right, mailbags ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. First up,
Got some good
I think
ones.
we have Corey, right? That was going to be our
Yes.
first one? All
I like
right.
this one.
Corey says, now that the Hawks have locked Bedard into that extension, borrowing from the always amazing show The West Wing, what's next? In what order do you think these things will happen, if at all? Bedard becomes the captain. Patrick Kane signs back with the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks announced that they're retiring Jonathan Toews' number. Bonus points if you pick a specific date. All right.
When are the Winnipeg Jets in town?
That's a good question.
If
You look
only-
that up. I'll answer this first.
Yes.
I'm going to say first is Kane signs. Second is, boy,
It'd be Bedard. Most likely, I would say.
but that depends on if they wait till he's back.
Oh, Winnipeg's October 15th. Would they do it that fast?
I feel like they would have announced it already. All right, so I'm going to say Bedard becomes captain, and then last they announce they're retiring Toews' number.
Yeah.
Yeah, October 15th is kind of early in the season to do something that big.
Unless they play them.
I mean, it doesn't.
They might play them twice at home.
It doesn't have to be against the Jets. It could be against.
Yeah, but it makes the most sense that they would
It
do
could be against
that.
the Bruins when they play the Bruins. It's when he won the Conn Smythe, right?
That was 13? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me look at
Or
that.
no, did he win the 10 Conn Smythe?
He won the 10.
Yeah.
Patrick Kane.
So
won the
Philly. When did
13.
they play Philly? Or they could do
I
it.
think the order is Kane, Bedard. They play the Jets November 14th at home on a Saturday afternoon.
Okay, that's still a little early, but not quite as bad.
Okay.
I still think though the first two happen.
Yeah, I think if it would be Kane and Bedard.
Yeah.
In that order. They play Philly at home December 27th. That's a Sunday.
Right after the holidays. Nice holiday gift. Get your tickets to the Jonathan Toews night. I mean, it could. What you really could do is look at an opponent that no one wants to see, and just do it that night. It's like,
What is
our lowest selling game?
another question I'll have to look up is who did they play when Hossa retired?
Hossa jersey retirement.
Because did it have any correlation to him?
Let's see, 4:30 on Sunday.
November 20th.
Penguins. So he did play for the Penguins.
He did. Okay.
But he played for a lot of teams.
And Chelios, they did against the Red Wings. Like,
Yeah.
I feel
It
like
seems to be-
I feel like it would probably be a home game against Winnipeg if they're going to do it. Now, Chelios, they announced it in September at the Pearl Jam concert, which I was at, which was a lot of fun.
yes.
And that was to happen in February.
Hossa's, by the way, was in November 20th.
But they announced it in
September 7th was that announcement for Chelios.
Oh, for Chelios, yeah.
Yep.
And they announced it for Hossa though that summer too.
I'm trying to find
I don't
that one.
remember exactly when. I feel like they could turn it around to do it in November. That second November game against Winnipeg, which is a Saturday. Like, come on out to the UC on a Saturday afternoon to celebrate Jonathan Toews' jersey retirement.
September 14th, 2022 was the announcement of the Hossa jersey retirement.
I think they could do it this year. I don't know why you wouldn't.
There's no reason
to delay
to
it.
not do it this year.
Just do it.
You have 42 opportunities. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be against a team he played for or did something against. He's
You could
Jonathan
do it, though.
Toews. He did something against everyone.
Yeah, people will show up no matter who.
He's one of the greatest players
for
ever
his
played.
own sentiment. Maybe they do it against the Jets,
Sure.
but whatever. But yeah, I think, I still think the Kane signing, if it does happen, would happen obviously before training camp. And I think if they do make Bedard captain when they do it, I think it. Again, going back to that, like
you could tie those things together. You don't want to take away from.
Yeah,
Taves.
let them be their own things. But I think if you were going to name Bedard captain, there is something to be said that it's like if you name him at training camp, you get the woo, and then you still got to wait for him. Like if you do it like like you do like a highlight or a video package of Connor Bedard. He's on the ice. I can see it now in my head. He's at fifth third, and it's shoo, shoo, he's skating around. He's shooting, ping, bar down, all that stuff. And then they've got it like dimly lit in the fifth third arena as he's practicing at the Blackhawks Ice Center, presented by Fifth Third Bank, AKA Johnny's Ice. I don't know, whatever it's called now. And then he's out there on the ice, and then he's got his hands on his knees on his stick as he's getting his breath, and then he comes up, and then the light hits, and there's the C, and then it says from the C on his jersey, and then it says coming November 15th or whatever.
It's a wide shot getting IMAX.
Bedard, Connor Bedard, captain, whatever, something like that.
Here's how I do it.
And then it's just like, oh my God, get your jerseys.
Here's how I do it. The day he comes back, he takes warm-ups with the C on. And there's no announcement.
I feel like that's anticlimactic.
Nah. He just takes the ice with the C. That's awesome. What do they do that with?
Wasn't the black jerseys?
No, the Penguins did that with their alternate jerseys or something this year. They just played the game.
They came out in the yellow jerseys or something, wasn't it?
No one knew it was happening,
Yeah.
and then they pulled the string and the jerseys were available.
See, if I know the Blackhawks organization, I feel like they like themselves a good video package and announcement and all
that
that.
would be a really cool way to do it.
It would be.
He just takes the ice with the C.
It would be.
And
I don't think they'll do it.
He
that
walks
way,
into he walks in. He's got to go through the social media, all the photos getting taken of him walking in, the arrival videos, the tunnel fits, and he heads to his locker stall, and there it is, ready for him, and he doesn't even know what's happening.
No, they wouldn't do it.
5 goals.
They would not do it that way.
They should.
No,
Mark says, can Foligno's kids give it to him?
Sure.
Yeah. Just have the Foligno kids show up.
Why not?
Can we, by the way, blast the Minnesota Wild for the ass social media video they made? Yeah. Did you see this?
It was. Did you see this? Did you hear about this?
You hear about this?
Yes, I did see that. Nick Foligno defacing a Chicago
Foligno walks
dog.
out of their little general store they own up there in Sudbury, and he's got a Chicago dog. And Marcus Foligno, the very handsome Marcus Foligno, comes and slaps it out of his hand.
The zesty one.
The zesty one. I think you and me define zesty differently. We have to have an off-air meeting about this, because I don't think zesty with Marcus Foligno.
That's what you said.
I never said zesty. Zesty has been your word for him.
Jay said that he's zesty for.
I am zesty for him.
Marcus Foligno. Yes.
He is not himself zesty.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I'm still gonna keep saying it.
All right, fine. Anyway, he slaps the Chicago dog out of Nick Foligno's hands. He's like, "You need a Minnesota hot dog," and it is a plain ass hot dog, the worst looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, what makes it worse is he pulls it out of his pocket. He's like, here's pocket hot dog.
Dogs.
And Nick's like, "Oh yeah, this was better." Come on, Nick. I thought we were friends.
That's you could tell he was like, that sucked. I really wanted that Chicago dog. Thank you. Giggity says I'm right about the word zesty.
Right.
Yes. Zesty doesn't mean handsome. It has other meanings.
It could.
And I don't think Marcus
You
Foligno.
never know.
Why don't next time? Here's how we'll find out. We'll go to the Wild media availability and go, Marcus, you've been described as zesty, and just see what happens and see what his response might be.
Okay. I'll do that.
Or say, I have described you as zesty.
You have been described as zesty.
By me.
Your thoughts.
Mario Tirabassi.
Look, we could. It would be very easy to do because I'm sure him and Nick's lockers are next to each other because of course they have to be.
They're bunk lockers.
We can go talk to Nick.
Yeah.
And then say, Marcus, by the way,
I have described you as zesty.
We think you're zesty.
Lord Hostess says pulling a hot dog out of your pocket is zesty.
That's what they did.
That's correct. Yes.
He was like, here, I got this hot dog in my pocket. It's better than a Chicago dog. Okay.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, if you're going to make a video about Nick's out of Chicago now he's a Minnesota guy, like, there's other things Chicago to mock. I don't know what really Minnesota could do. But like,
there's no Minnesota
don't replace
dog.
our good food with your bad, boring food. It's like
they weren't even in Minnesota. They were in Sudbury, too.
Yeah, they're in Sudbury.
So it's a Sudbury pocket dog.
Yeah, that's very weird.
That's what it was.
Yeah. All right, let's get a quick one in here before we got to hit the overtime.
It's not like the Blackhawks schedule release video where they put the Red Wings over the poop fountain.
Poop fountain. Did you see the Pokemon card one though? That who did that? I sent it last night.
Oh, was it the Flyers? No, the Flames.
Oh yeah, it was the Flames.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny. Go check that out.
That's good.
All right, want to do one here? Go to overtime now?
Let's go to overtime.
It's so early. All right, overtime. Switch over to allchgo.com to continue the coverage if you're on the fast channel.
No, I started the...
that's right.
I started the thing...
Because you did your 2:59 trip to the bathroom.
I had lettuce. What am I supposed to do?
I don't have lettuce before the show. All right.
Dealer's
History
choice.
Racer. Let's do that one. He says, do we think the 5-year term for Bedard is also slightly in favor for the Blackhawks as well? As much as I'm sure they believe in Bedard as we all do, having suffered a significant injury in almost every season, I think this contract leaves a little room on the table for Bedard to prove he can stay reliable as well.
I think if the Blackhawks had their choice, this would have been an 8-year deal, no matter what, injury or not. I think that they want their number one guy that this rebuild has been geared towards. It's not all on him, but he is the figurehead of it. If they could have got him for the max term, they would have.
If for some reason in 5 years Connor Bedard can't play because he's hurt, long-term injured reserve. I take the bet.
You take the bet
they
that
would
Bedard's
take as many
going to be
years of them as they can.
Yeah, you take the bet that Bedard's going to be the guy that you expect him to be, and if the injury bug destroys your plans, that's left up to the universe.
All right, let's do a couple more. This one is from, I can't see the name.
Drew? Was it Drew?
No.
Scott
says, first, I'll say I believe in Davidson's plan. Not to be a negative Nelly going into this upcoming season, without Bedard for a period of time and how the roster is constructed, I don't see the Hawks playing meaningful games in April and most likely another top 5 pick. Asking 6 or more young players to make major steps, salute, in their development, one that hasn't been a number one defenseman and another has never played in the NHL is a tall ask and demand on these young players. The pressure should be high on Davidson and company to better this team quickly. Is Kane the answer? No. Is a spot filler? Yes. So besides the obvious names, what wingers or centermen are realistic and viable options? That's the thing.
The last guy that I would have been like, oh, he's someone you put in your top 6 and it's an improvement, was Anthony Mantha, and he's signed to wherever.
Meaning, the last available person.
The last available guy. Yeah.
And even that is kind of like a...
And that's a gamble.
For now.
Yeah.
It's not a long-term thing. For the last several months, Robertson, Nyes, you know the names. We don't have to keep talking about them. They're not available. They have not been traded.
Right.
And I'm trying to think of a guy who was a no doubt perfect answer to this problem that was moved this offseason. Like you can say, well, Mason Marchment would have been nice. Sure.
But he's not
he's not a perfect fit. The only guy who moved from one team to another that would have 100% answered that question is Alex Tuck. That's the only one that moved from
yes.
And maybe Jordan Kyrou. So those two.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kyrie's a center, right?
I think he does a little bit of both.
Well,
actually.
Either way, yeah. You figure it out. Mark also says Elias Pettersson
hasn't moved though.
Maybe, but hasn't moved. Yeah, really, the only guy.
No, Kyrou 99% right wing.
Okay. Okay. I thought he played center. Maybe I'm mixing him and Robert Thomas.
Robert Thomas plays center. Yeah.
Yeah, those would be the guys that for sure are top 6. Put them next to Bedard. Those would be the guys like that. And they both went to the same team, by the way.
Pedersen is a huge question mark.
Yeah, that's
like you don't know what you're getting.
That's a risk. That's a gamble. I think, yes, I've said I've said Patrick Kane's a Band-Aid. He is.
Yes.
But what you need right now while Bedard is hurt, and also to kind of like bridge this year for all these young guys to try and take this next step as you're expecting them to do, is have just that one extra piece to the puzzle that can kind of give you that leeway. Because like you have Bertuzzi, you have Teuvo, and I hate to say it that way in front of you, but you have Teuvo, and it's just like he's not that kind of player, or hasn't been since he's been back here. But I feel like even with Kane being a Band-Aid, it's a good Band-Aid to have.
Because it costs you nothing.
Just money.
It's just money. You don't have to give up any assets to get them. And like someone in the chat said, Mark said McTavish. Mason McTavish is a nice young player, but there are question marks about him. And I'm sure Kyle Davidson looks at his roster and says, we have Mason McTavish at home. I'm not going to give up a ton of assets to get a guy who has been a healthy scratch.
Same thing with like Shane Wright.
Yeah, who has had some, issues with coaches and issues of, work ethic. I'm not going to give up a bunch of assets to get a guy. It was 2 first-round picks to bring in a guy who might be in our... And, yeah, he'd be in the top 6 right now. But, like, whatever you think about Joel Quenneville, based on his off-ice misses, which are well-documented, the guy knows how to coach. And if he's scratching Mason Marchment, to me, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah, I mean, he's...
McTavish.
Yeah,
Sorry, Mason McTavish. But, like, I just... Again, like, we're talking about... obvious 100% surefire. Yes, this would have helped. Yes, this guy could be on a team for a long time. Yes, this guy is absolutely top 6 that moved. It is Kyrou and it is Tuck.
Right.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
And Kyrou
and who knows?
And Tuck also was in a position to say, I'm only going to go to a team where I'm going to sign.
Right.
They had to trade for his rights. And he had to agree, I'm going to sign with Washington.
Right.
So maybe the Hawks weren't even an option for him. So, look, if guys like this had been moving left and right all summer, I'd be a little more frustrated about it. And look, I am frustrated. I want them to do more forward. There's no doubt about it. But the way Kyle Davidson believes in these prospects is either going to cost him his job or prove him right. One of the two. Because if he doesn't, even if he does get Patrick Kane, if these young players that he so believes are going to take this massive jump the seat will start to get hot.
Yeah. And it's not like this, it's like this year or bust for these guys, because they're all, a lot of them are first or second year pros. So as much as we're like, this will cost Davidson his job, it doesn't mean that you toss these players out and say they're all going to bust. Like, they could still pan out to be good players. It's just the way that Davidson has constructed this team and what he's kind of putting his chips on the table with is all of these young guys doing it at the same time, which is a big gamble. But like you said, if it pays off, he looks really smart. And if it doesn't, then maybe another GM takes over and takes these guys to the next spot or whatever.
So Mason McTavish, just for conversation's sake, 23 years old, 6'1", 219, big kid. Career high 52 points in 2024-25, 22 goals, 30 assists. He's had 43, 42, 52, and then 41 this year.
But he was getting scratched.
He was getting scratched. Only played 15-19 this year, which is a career low for his full-time seasons.
He's also scratched in the playoffs.
Scratched in the playoffs as well, yes. Had 10 playoff games and 6 points. So when he played, he was productive. But I think that Kyle Davidson looks at Kancherov and Frondell and Nazar and more and says, I probably have a McTavish somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And if I want to trade 2 first-round picks, I'm probably using those 2 first-round picks to acquire more of a sure thing. Because remember,
McBowen Byron,
you might be happy trading 2 first-round picks for Mason McTavish, but if a Nyes or a Robertson does become available, then you suddenly don't have those bullets anymore. Mm-hmm. So I think he's keeping those. I'm going to hold on to these picks unless something
until Jason Robertson is signed. He's technically gettable.
Yeah, and look, if It's a 1-year settlement, 1-year deal, which it looks like it's going to be to keep him in Dallas.
Then he's
a UFA at the end of the year, and you could trade a draft pick for his rights if he wants to come here and sign him for just money, which is an option too. So I don't know. We all want them to upgrade up front, but guys just have not been real, true, established studs have just not been made available.
Yep.
All right. Should we do some more? Or do you want to get some more
sure.
tomorrow?
Why don't we got, what else we got?
That's a good question.
Do we got other ones? Oh, that's a long one.
Let's just do this one. And
all right, we'll do this. We'll do this one. And we'll do some more. Do just more tomorrow.
Yeah, this is from D. Schnell. Says, I know it was mentioned on a previous show, but it really does feel like we're going to start seeing more RFAs sign 5-year extensions after their rookie deals. It just makes sense. They get another chance to cash in while they're still in their prime instead of being locked in to a max term deal too early. I still think this is a really good deal. He's talking about Bedard. Honestly, Connor probably could have gotten more if he wanted to. It feels like he left a little room for Kyle to keep adding pieces around him. When you're a guy like Bedard who's making plenty of money from endorsements, it's probably a little easier to leave a little on the table. Someone like Leo Carlsson probably isn't bringing in the same kind of money off the ice, so it's a different situation.
Potentially.
If there's one thing Connor has made clear, it's that he really wants to be in Chicago, and all he really cares about is playing hockey and winning. This deal kind of feels like it reflects that. To follow up, I can almost guarantee Connor turned down offer sheets that would have paid him more. I don't know if that's true. If Leo got an offer from Philly, there's a good chance Bedard was one of the first calls they made. This furthers my point that he is fully behind the Blackhawks. What do you guys think?
I mean, Greg kind of alluded to that last week, where if you're sending an offer sheet to Leo Carlsson, why wouldn't you go to Bedard first?
Right.
Because I think around the league, as good as Leo Carlsson is, I think people would have the perspective that Bedard's the better player, and they were both in the same situation of being available and able to be sent offer sheets. And maybe it's reading between the lines, but again, going back to what Ben Pope wrote and what Mark Lazarus wrote about the negotiations and the conversations that Bedard's agent had with them and with the team and with Connor and everything, like they wanted to make it very clear that he was committed to Chicago. So maybe there were teams that said, we'll give Connor this offer sheet. What do you think? And he might have just been like, we're not doing any of that. We're signing in Chicago, so thank you, but he's staying in Chicago. You can move on to your next piece of business. I do feel like that is a better than 50% chance that was a real scenario.
Look, when a guy like that becomes available as a GM, you want your GM at least making that phone call, at least making that offer.
And Philly wasn't the only team that went to Carlsson.
No,
with an offer.
No, we know remember that night, Dan Milstein, who was like the agent to all the. Was it Milstein?
Milstein was the agent to.
Who's Carlson's agent?
I don't think it's Milstein, but no. Minchikov was the agent is Milstein's agent. Yes. Milstein's the agent to Minchikov. When the Carlsson thing went down,
that's what I'm thinking.
He was like, oh hey, my client's going to get a pretty good contract now because blah blah blah, and then there was the whole him and Frank Saravalli going back and forth at each other. Frank saying that Milstein was trying to solicit offer sheets for Minchikov, and Milstein saying you were making that up. And then it got into a Twitter beef because, of course, it did. But yeah, that was, Carlsson had a few choices of offer sheet to sign, and it probably came down to the most money was coming from Philly.
Yeah, his agents are the Keeters who were on 32 Thoughts.
Right. Yeah,
that's right. That's how I was getting Milstein from. It was the Minchikov thing. Yeah, certainly. So look, I think at this point, we don't even really need to talk about it anymore. Connor Bedard is happy here. He has said so. There were certainly opportunities for him to pull the Hawks up against the wall and get more money.
He could have.
Or go somewhere else.
He could have absolutely said, I signed a max offer sheet at 6 years, $20 million with whoever. Let's see if you're going to actually live up to your word and match, or are we going to have to say our goodbyes?
Right.
And I don't think he could have justifiably did that, and I think it shows, like we've kind of said a couple of times, shows to his dedication to the team and the city and the teammates and the organization. Like he's all in for Chicago, and I think he wants to win here, and I think we can celebrate that. Can be happy
Chicago
about that.
is the only place I want to play. Connor Bedard said that about 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
So I think it still stands.
It's true.
And we've got the proof for it now.
What was I gonna say?
Something
I
about
was gonna try and bring something up. I forgot.
Well, you've got
What were we just
22 and a
talking
half
about?
hours to think of it.
Milstein, offer sheet,
Minchikov?
Bedard,
Was that it? Maybe
Carlsson.
Dorofeyev maybe is one of the guys
No,
available.
no.
That we could mention that. That's a guy who is a proven scorer that moved.
No.
Should we just wait till he thinks of it, Chloe, or should we end the show? Should we just hang out?
It's gonna bother me.
All right.
Forget it.
What's your favorite color? Put it in the chat.
I'll forget it. It'll come back to me.
All right. Well, write it down. Write it down when it comes back. We'll talk about it tomorrow. See, that is a tease to tune in for tomorrow at 3.
See what Mario
That'll be the headline. What was Mario wanting to talk about at the end of the show? Greg will be here tomorrow, too. So maybe that's it. Maybe just save it for Greg. All right. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow at 3, unless Patrick Kane signs today on CHGO Blackhawks.
We all silly like the mayor.